Hello everyone, I'm Colin Kinnett, and today I'm back again with another episode of tips and tricks from subscribers just like you. But today I have a special episode from my 89-year-old woodworking friend, Alan Freeman. I have a special episode. You're gonna love it, and you'll see it later on. But let's get started. This tip came to me from Stephen, and Stephen works in a production company to make a variety of signs and different kinds of things, and they make bulks of these things. So when they do them, they like to finish them all at the same time. And sometimes you've got double-sided things where you need to finish top and bottom. And they ran out of standoffs, and Stephen just went to his box of scrap wood, cut up some little squares, and made put some dowels in there, and a quick and easy way, simple, you have all the materials there, a quick way of making little standoffs so that you can put things, lift them off the whatever the finishing table is. He did suggest that he's going to put some poly on the end so that the material, the finish that he's using doesn't soak in. But look, you can even simplify that. In a lot of cases, you can put tape on there, and most often tape will not adhere to whatever your product is as well. Quick and easy. So lots of things you can do to finish the tops on those, and now you've got some really quick, easy standoffs. Here's a really good gluing idea from Walter. I think many of you already know that these little silicone brushes you can get are perfect for applying glue on, because if you forget to clean them, when the glue dries on there, you can just flick it off with your finger. It's pretty easy to get off because it doesn't stick to silicone. But look, Walter figured out that if you can take the bottom of these off and you can drill a couple of holes in there, now you can put that on top of your standard glue bottle, and now you have an applicator for applying your glue directly onto your project. I thought that was a great idea. Thanks, Walter. Here's a tip from Praveen, and Praveen says when you're working with wood and maybe you're doing some glue ups, and you might even have some sort of a jig or an appliance that you're using to keep something together or glue things together, and you don't want to get glue on your jigs or on your appliances that you've made, because sometimes they'll stick together. It's hard to get off. Sometimes they won't work properly. What Praveen suggests is just get some packing tape, ordinary packing tape, and you can lay that anywhere on the jig where you might be getting some glue. And with this stuff, you can make you can make really fine adjustments. It's easy to get off. If you get glue on top of the tape, it doesn't matter. You can take it off or you can let it dry. It won't hurt anything. And in the end, you can just take it all off anyway. So a really quick way to preserve some time and stop glue from sticking to your jigs. So I want to show you a quick jig that Peter has developed. And if you're making picture frames, sometimes you want to put what we call splines, and we often use contrasting wood in there to do a couple things. It's decorative, but it also helps to keep the corners together. We often do the same thing with little boxes. You can put spline corners in of contrasting wood, and it just helps to keep the corners together even better, and it's a very nice decorative piece. Now, quite some time ago, I made this unit, and you can see that this has a saddle on it, so it fits on your fence. And of course, the way this one works is you would put your picture frame or your box on there, and basically you would run that through the saw. And you can see that there's quite a bit of work involved in making some of this and some fitting. But look, here's Peter's idea, and I thought this was a really good idea. Quick and easy. You put some arms on there, and of course this is where one of these little triangles, carpenter's triangles, come in handy. And the way this one would work is a little bit differently, because you can't just run this back and forth down your saw. But look, here's what you can do. With this one, you can crank your blade all the way down, move that into whatever position you want, and of course it's always going to stay in that position once you lock it. And now you'll preset how many winds up you want to do, and of course you'll line this up with the arbor on your saw as well, or the arbor on your blade. And now when you do that, you can turn your saw on and just hold that and just wind that up. You could put clamps on there, and of course it's already put together, it's already glued up, but it's not maybe as strong as you'd like to have it, and you can just wind that up a couple of times, 3 or 4 times, and that blade coming up there will just cut a little spline in there, a little hole in the edge of that picture frame or box, and now you fill that with wood, some glue in there, and now you've got a really firm way of keeping your picture frames and your boxes together, and it looks great. So that's a neat idea. Thanks, Peter. This tip is from Woody in Virginia, and I don't have a contractor saw, but I know many of you have them, and I thought it was a good tip, so I'm going to sort of make do with what I have. So what Woody says, on the back of many contractor saws, they have a little exhaust port for your dust, and the point of that is you can collect a dust collector to it or a shop vacuum and suck the dust out. But here's what Woody found out, that if you take an ordinary pail, and in many cases you can just kind of use a little S hook and connect it to, just let it sit on the back of your contractor's saw, and that little chute, you don't actually even need to put some suction on it. The dust will come out of your blade, out of your saw, and it will fall into your bucket. Now, if you find that it's spraying out a lot, what you can do is just put a cloth, just a simple cloth on there, an old rag or something would even work, just so that it doesn't overspray the pail. And he said it works like a charm, a quick and easy, simple, cheap way of getting a good dust collector in your shop, so that the sawdust that you're cutting isn't just sort of spraying out the back of it. So thanks, Woody. I thought that was a good idea, and hopefully some of you will try that, and maybe that'll work on your saws too. Now, as I promised you, right here is the episode from my 89-year young woodworking buddy, Alan Freeman, and he is going to show you how to make mortise and tenons on the router and the table saw. And he has a unique system. You're going to be fascinated to watch this. So you'll be able to click the card that just popped up there, or if you go to the end of the video, you'll be able to click on it there. But you'll be very intrigued, and maybe some of you will even subscribe to his site. So anyway, here it is. Well, that concludes my video for today. But you know, you don't have to remember every one of these tips that I make for you. You know, when you review them and just kind of have a look through them, enjoy them, and at some point in the future when you're in the workshop and maybe you've got some sort of a challenging little project that you're working on, something will click in the back of your brain, and you might not even remember the tip, but you will remember a solution, a way around that. And that's the whole point of these things, is to help you think about other ways and other things that you can do. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.